There was a house rule growing up that felt completely normal to me as a kid. It wasn't until I turned 23 that I realized it was a warning sign nobody ever explained to us. We had this rule. If my mom was wearing her silver charm bracelet, the one with the single, tiny metal bell, you didn't speak to her. Not one word, not even to say goodnight. It wasn't every day, maybe just a few times a month. She'd be completely fine at breakfast, but then we'd come home from school, hear that faint clink from the kitchen, and the whole house would just go dead silent. My dad would cook dinner himself on those nights. My sister Chloe and I would eat as fast as we could and slip off to our rooms. If mom was walking down the hallway, we literally pressed our backs against the wall and waited for her to pass. I honestly thought every family had something like this. Some kids had a no video games until homework is done rule. We just had the bracelet. If a friend came over after school and heard that bell ring, I'd just whisper, "Bell day," and they'd nod like I was giving a weather report. We'd just grab our bikes and stay out until dark. Nobody ever asked why. I didn't either. Not until I was 9 years old, when a neighborhood kid named Leo bet me a holographic Pokemon card that I wouldn't go up and snatch the bracelet off her wrist. I snuck up behind her while she was standing at the sink. I pulled at the clasp, and for half a second it came loose. She spun around and saw it was me. Her face did something I still don't have a word for to this day. Then she quietly took the bracelet, snapped it back on, and said, "Go outside, baby." Her voice was so soft I almost didn't hear it, but her hands were shaking violently when she locked the clasp. I never told Leo about that. It was buried so deep that in 4th grade, I got sent to the principal's office because I refused to speak to my reading teacher. She happened to be wearing a jangling charm bracelet that morning, and something inside my brain just locked shut. Don't talk. Don't talk. I couldn't explain it to the principal without sounding like I had completely lost my mind. My dad enforced the bracelet rule way harder than mom ever did. Once Chloe forgot. She walked right up to mom on a bell day to ask her to sign a permission slip for a school trip. My dad lunged forward and caught her wrist so fast it left red marks. He didn't apologize until bedtime. And even then, he just stared at the floor and said, "You'll understand when you're older. Just never do that again." In high school, I finally confronted him. I asked what the bracelet was really about. He gave me this incredibly worn-out look and said, "Your mother gets these severe migraines. Light, noise, voices, it all makes them unbearable. The bracelet just lets us know to keep the house quiet." It made sense to me. Moms get bad headaches. I never thought about it again. Then came last Thanksgiving. I was 23, visiting from college. We were halfway through dinner. Mom had the bracelet on, and the table was doing its usual awkward, silent routine. Suddenly, my girlfriend, Maya, whom I had warned 3 separate times before the trip, smiled across the table and said, "This stuffing is incredible. Mrs. Vance, did you make it from scratch?" Everything stopped. The room went freezing cold. My mom set her fork down incredibly slowly. Her chin started trembling. Then she pushed her chair back and locked herself inside the bathroom. And my dad, this man I had never seen shed a single tear in my entire life, put his face in both hands and just broke down. He wasn't just crying. He was shaking, sobbing right there at the table. Maya was frantically whispering apologies, completely terrified. I was mostly angry and baffled. It's just the bracelet rule. Why is my dad losing his mind over a headache? Chloe grabbed me by the elbow and pulled me out to the back porch. "You really don't get it, do you?" she asked. "Get what?" "It's her migraines," I said. She held my eyes for a second too long. "It was never about headaches, Cole." "Then what was it?" "Ask Dad what happened the summer you turned 1. She walked back inside, leaving me there. So I went straight to my dad in the kitchen and asked him right then and there. He told me the bracelet started the summer I turned 1. It started after my dad rushed into the bathroom to find my mom, holding me completely under the bathwater, refusing to let go until Chloe screamed loud enough for the neighbors to run over. She hadn't slept in days. The doctors gave it a name, postpartum psychosis, a severe condition after giving birth that literally made her see her own baby as a threat. She got intense treatment, but her therapist told her to choose one highly visible, distinct object she could put on the exact second she felt the wrongness creeping back into her mind. It was a signal so the family would know to instantly take the kids and give her absolute space before the psychosis took over completely. It was only supposed to be a temporary bridge for a few months while her medication adjusted. It ended up holding our house together for 23 years. Chloe found out when she was 10. She caught Dad flushing empty pill bottles and an old hospital bracelet down the toilet. He made her swear to never tell me. He said I was too sensitive, that he just wanted me to have a... So every single bell day I ever lived through wasn't a headache. It was my mother feeling her own mind violently turn against the people she loved most, reaching for a piece of silver metal to warn us to run before she went under. And we all just learned to disappear on cue. 23 years of pills, 23 years of doctors, and I spent every single one of them thinking my mom just had a headache.